Hello everyone, I'm back again playing Forza Horizon 6 on video. I have been playing this game in my spare time and I wanted to share some clips from the chaos. As you can see, had the truck fall off and then there was this nice battle for the lead here, which I was quite surprised at. I thought this car wouldn't have as much grunt as the Nissan Silvia, but it turns out that the Mini is quite a competent little track weapon. And I am quite fond of this car in real life. I mean, bit out of my price range, but I'd like to get one. And it's also unfortunately the source of my only win this video, so enjoy it while it lasts. Cross the line first, managed to get it cleanly, so I'll take it. But now I'm going to disappoint you guys and drive a car that I see a lot on roads in Australia, not necessarily the Raptor version, but the basic version. And the saying goes, I'm probably going to butcher this, but not all wankers are Ford Ranger drivers, but every wanker on the road happens to drive a Ford Ranger. I'm probably a bit more verbose on that than how the actual saying goes, but you know, it's true for the most part. And I don't really tune my cars at all. I don't really follow the Forza tuning scene that much, so I don't really know what a meta car is or you know what the best setups are. I just kind of just see something I like and I go, oh yeah, I'll drive it and see how it'll go. And I mean, in some races that works, and some it doesn't. I played a lot of races tonight. I recorded some of the ones that I really like racing on. I mean, to be fair, I don't choose which ones I like. I just go, okay, I feel like I'm going to have a fun one and record it. And here we are. This was actually quite fun, even though we're plowing through rice fields in Ford Raptors, which I feel like is the most is a rather fitting descriptor of a Ford Ranger driver, to be honest. You know, just fuck you. I'm here for myself. But regardless of that, this game has been a lot of fun to play still. I mean, as I stated earlier, you know, I've not stopped playing this in my spare time. If anything, I've been playing probably too much of it, and I've managed to. Yeah, I mean, the Horizon games have always been some of my most played games in terms of hours played, and this is approaching to be no exception to that. I haven't quite hit the obscene levels I did when I played Horizon 5 at its launch window, but, you know, I've played quite a lot of this, and I've also been playing 007 First Light, as I have stated in other videos, but, I mean, this has been a lot of fun. I've even been playing this with some of my mates on my mate's Discord, which I haven't been able to do in quite some time, so it's been nice to just go back and do that and enjoy the more social elements of this game. Or even just games in general, because a lot of my videos are me yearning to play games online and to play, you know, Battlefield 2 and associated mods and, you know, the other Battlefield games with the refractor engines online with people, but it's difficult to do so because I'm Australian. Most people who play these games these days happen to be in Europe or in the United States, and so it's very difficult to be able to join those and play those at an acceptable ping, because it's just not possible. So playing it here with mates, you know, from around the country is awesome, and the car selection is awesome, and the updates like to address a couple of things, like to address that obscene grind for Horizon play is nice to see as well. It makes that somewhat realistic, because I have been something of an achievement hunter in these last few years. I have mentioned it briefly in videos, but I had every intention on completing this game, and the 1,000-hour grind just really put me off it. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll get around to it eventually, you know, it'll be a slow thing, it will happen. Somehow managed to squeeze a podium out of that. I felt like that wasn't terribly impressive. I felt like I was going through the motions in that race, but unfortunately that is also the last time you'll see me get a podium. But as I'd stated, yeah, it's one of those things where it's a 1,000-hour grind, and I just wasn't really that interested in that. I mean, Horizon 4 I've spent 600 plus hours on, and that was over 4 years. So, I mean, you can do the math there. There's probably too much time on that game spent on a daily basis, but we move. And they reduced it, and they also made the AI a little easier, which, I mean, yeah, the AI did cheat in some instances for tracks, but, you know, it's more a positive thing. I do miss the whole Bowie knife meme thing, although I didn't really have much terror from a Bowie knife, so not sure. I mean, I love the meme, but I wasn't personally a victim of his terror, so we'll put it at that. But I was really surprised to see the little K car up in the front there. I was surprised to see it so competitive as well amongst all these cars. I can only imagine if someone went to ram that car, he would probably punt it into the next province. But I mean, from what I understood and from how this race went, this was actually surprisingly clean given the off-road nature and given that everyone happened to be driving Ford Ranger Raptors. So yeah, I mean, beyond that, I don't really have much else to add. The races just go downhill from here, kind of like adulthood to an extent. Is that me being pessimistic on video? I've not done that in a while, but I guess this week's been a bit of a trying week for me. So I'm just using this as a kind of like when I started doing videos again, really kind of more somber in tone, more depressive. Had this car just absolutely fly by me. It's a car, it's a truck. And also the Mercedes X-Class is synonymous down here with people who spent way too much on what is basically a rebadged Nissan Navara, and then you know, upcharge you or surcharge you on the job because, you know, they've overpaid for their truck and, you know, have to compensate through something, you know, factory ripping you off, I guess. Otherwise, I don't know, just the whole idea of a Mercedes truck is a very random thing, and as you can see there, thankfully ghosting in this game is quite top notch, otherwise I would have just straight up punted him into the wall there. And I don't try to be a dirty driver in these games, but sometimes with how the game is, just with its arcade nature, you know, it's a simcade, it's realistic-ish, but it's not, you know, Assetto Corsa. It's not Assetto Corsa Evo. So, you know, you're not going to get that full-blown realism that you're going to get out of, you know, those cars. But, you know, there's some things that, you know, this game, you know, respects physics. I say that actually, it kind of doesn't it? You know, you can go 500 kilometers per hour in a Mazda MX-5 and, you know, fly off, and the car turns into almost like a parachute of sorts. You know, it has a vague impression that it respects physics. Unlike that guy, I don't know what happened to him there. I have no idea how he managed to fall off that hard, but I managed to take 4th for the taking. I was a little disappointed. I was expecting to take 5th, but, you know, 4th is not as bad, but I was disappointed that it wasn't a podium, but the podium had sort of sailed off into the sunset and made that a relatively unrealistic proposition. But this last race I saved till last because it wasn't in a Ford Ranger Raptor, it was in something else. And you'll see that pretty shortly, because I didn't want to record a video with just this truck, because as much as it would be fun to just dick around off-road, it gets boring. I prefer the street racing. I tend to skip a lot of the dirt road races because they're just not interesting. I've also seen an influx of traffic cars just at the start line, and thankfully the game starts you ghosted, because I can just imagine some people would just be categorically fucked over by the start. But there's also like this tension. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way, but like it's amusing that you start ghosting the way. It's like, okay, who's the dirty one? Who's gonna like try ram you off and try to fuck you over with checkpoints and whatnot? And you don't know until like the 23 or 24 second mark exactly. I don't know why it's 25 or 30, but you know, they've arbitrarily decided on that number, and we're just sticking with it. And you get that idea of like, okay, now people are going to start ramming you off for the hell of it. But in saying that though, talking about games more broadly, that was a good ghost in there. Speaking about this game more broadly, I found that this game is a lot more enjoyable with ABS on. You can probably see it in the bottom lower right hand corner of the screen. You know, that's the one assist that I've turned on, because I found that driving the more modern cars without the ABS, someone falls off the bridge and someone just jumps back up. With the ABS assist on, I found that the game is a lot more manageable. Like, people are, like 99% of people in this game seemingly are running it anyway, and it doesn't work as well. Like, having it off will punish you on older cars, or sorry, newer cars. On older cars it's just fine, as you saw in one of my older Forza Horizon 6 videos. If you've watched that one on the BMW M1, you'll find that I found that car a lot more comfortable driving, a lot more easy to sort of play around with without ABS. But in, say, cars like this, for example, you kind of need it, because the cars just lock up way too quickly, and you end up having to brake significantly earlier or just lock up. And locking up for every corner isn't as fun as it is just jamming on the brakes with ABS. You still have some control over your car, but it's not perfect, and it's a strange one. But nonetheless, you know, 120 something or so hours in, I have very few complaints about this game. I can quite confidently say that I have played enough, except for me punting off that poor bugger. That being said though, at that time we braked, at least from my perspective, it looks like we braked around about the same time, and for whatever reason that code happened and I just punted him across. So it was a bit of a dirty way to get 5th place, sorry. I ended up finishing 4th, but yeah, 5th place was acquired through blood money, we will say. And this guy just goes straight off. It's way too easy to do that. I find it funny how a lot of people aren't adapting to the new track layouts yet. Like, it took me a little bit to get used to it too, but then I just go all in on Horizon Play, and I'm getting really familiar with the layouts now. But again, you know, nearly a month after, or about a month after its launch, you still see people just, yeah, a traffic car just getting anywhere. You still see cars like, you know, with people struggling with the new layouts. But anyway, that was 4th place for this video. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. A bit more of a rambly one, a bit more of a casual, low-key one. I mean, I guess that's what these videos have largely been, haven't they? But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.